Simon Rogers from the Guardian newspaper, London. Mr. Rogers, how does data-driven journalism change the way in which we tell our stories?
I think traditionally journalists were very kind of nervous about telling stories with numbers, but now there's so much data around there, it's impossible to avoid, and as reporters we're always trying to find new ways of telling stories, and data journalism just gives us that extra kind of tool to use to extract stories out of government information that's often hard to get and hard to understand, and our role is increasingly to make that information easier for our readers and help kind of democratize it as well.
One of your American colleagues described data journalism as, I quote, social science done on deadline. Do you agree?
A little bit. I mean, you're using techniques that are, I guess, are statistical techniques, but often what we do is very simple. You know, is something bigger than something else? How does it compare? How has it changed over time? You know, this isn't rocket science. You know, this is pretty basic. And I think the key thing, I suppose, is that we're always in a hurry as journalists. We're always on a deadline. We're always trying to get stuff done quickly. But now we have so many tools that we can use that make that job simple and easier, much easier than it used to be.
How does data journalism differ from data visualization?
I would say data journalism is the process by which you get a story out of the numbers. Data visualization, which is an amazing skill, is a separate thing. It's showing those numbers in the best and most easily accessible way. And the thing about data journalism, the great thing about it, is it's very flexible format. So it takes in a lot of these things, like takes in drawing charts, or it might take in getting the information, but it's that process of bringing it all together that's what makes a data journalist unique, I think.
You once famously said that journalists specializing on data are now closer to the news desk. Do we witness a paradigm shift at the moment?
Well, we work very closely with the news desk, and I think if you're going to do this stuff properly, you have to be with the newsroom. You have to make it part of the process and the way that news organisations work. They're always about geography. They're always about who sits where, just like many other kinds of organisations. But I think, you know, if you're right next to the news desk, you can make that data part of the story every day, and that's a really important thing to do.
Is data journalism a remedy to the challenge posed by citizen journalism?
I think it involves citizen journalism often. Data journalism is a way to make stories more real for people, especially for local organisations, local media, who can then use that journalism to tell stories to their readers in ways they never would have done before. So I think it makes people feel more engaged and interested in the story.
Is it applicable to all branches of journalism?
I can't imagine an area of journalism where data can't help or can't be part of the story. It's part of all of our work now, and I think it's becoming so normal now that actually we wouldn't be having this conversation in 5 years' time. I think it'll just be part of our jobs.
What about regional news?
I think for regional papers, and regional news organisations, there's such a lot of potential there because there's such a lot of data, such a lot of local data about people's areas that probably most people don't even know about or look at. So as local or regional journalists, you have a role in kind of bringing that data alive for readers and telling them things about their areas they didn't know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.